What's up with everybody? What's cracking with y'all? Alright, so today I'm doing a video basically on the government and the role they play. Well, it's simple. I'm going to start out by saying this, which is, you know, pretty, it's a pretty vast understanding. And it's a pretty vast conversation, you know, especially amongst like religious motherfuckers, because they'll sit back and be like, they'll argue down and up and down that it's not exactly what I'm going to say in totality, but in fact it is, from my opinion. I don't claim to know everything. I'm going to always say that in my videos. I don't claim to know every little thing there is about everything. So, yeah, but from my interpretation, this is what their role is, past, present, and future. Now, you have to understand the same secret societies that now run the world through money, that now runs the corporations, which you call America or Spain or wherever the fuck you're at. They basically, they've had a bloodline lineage to the Bible and to hidden knowledge and to money. So when you put those things, like religion, hidden knowledge, and money, and when you put those together, you basically get the world that we live in today. They have they have a set. They have like they've already had, some of them have already had this predetermined for them or pre-established. All they have to do is be born into the shit, into the lineage, and then they, you know, whatever. So the same people that are your government today wrote the Bible. The same secret societies that wrote that are in power today are the same secret societies that wrote the Bible. You can't differentiate the two from each other. There's no way that you can do that. You can't separate them because they are one and the same. Just like humans are, you know, from the Nephanu. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I don't want to sound stupid as fuck. You know, basically having to do with the Anunnaki and all that type of shit. You can't separate that. You know, there's no way to separate the fact that I'm playing Call of Duty right now, so if I look like I'm looking over here, it's because I'm fucking with this shit. But you can't separate the government from religion and, you know, the New World Order or whatever. Now, a lot of people like to call them the Illuminati, when in fact, you have to understand this. Hold on, let me cut this down right quick. You got to understand that, like, okay, so if they're a secret society, right, and they're the totality of their fucking the totality of their agenda is to basically keep occult knowledge to themselves and keep occult information and keep themselves hidden from the public, right? So you have to understand that even having the name Illuminati is cliche because obviously they don't go by that name no more. They've moved on from that name, so they don't even have to use the Illuminati no more. That's why you have the Illuminati. That's why you have that name, the Illuminati. That's why you have that, because of the fact that they've already given up that. They've already given up that, you know, that stigma or that representation of what they represent. They've already given that up. The Illuminati is not what they are today. That's not what they call themselves. You have to understand, if that's what they really call themselves, to this day, we still wouldn't know they called that. We wouldn't even have an idea of what their name is or what to call these niggas. We wouldn't even fucking know because of the fact that these niggas, like, their agenda is to remain hidden. So why would they tell you the name of their organization? So the name Illuminati is cliche, but we can use that name just to, you know, just to base them off of like a certain, you know, a certain stigmatization or whatever, like stigmatization. I don't think that's what I'm looking for. So we can base them off of a certain trademark name that we can all basically conglomerately, have an understanding of what you're talking about. Same thing when you're talking about grass outside. Grass is technically not grass. You gotta understand that. Like, and I don't mean like, oh no, they making all the fake ass, you know what I'm saying, vegetation and shit. That's not what the fuck I mean. I mean, none of this shit is what we call it. TV's not what we make TV, so I guess it's a little bit more, you know. No, even that. Everything, like, whenever we give a name to something, that's not what it's really called. It basically is nameless. It has no name. We have to give it a name so that we can communicate about, okay, I'm watching TV right now, or I'm about to go outside and do this, that, and the third, or whatever the fuck it is. We have to give it names so that we can socialize with each other and understand what we're talking about rather than talking like fucking you know what I'm saying? Rather than doing that dumbass shit, we can just say the grass because somebody gave it that name. Now, the origins of names also have a certain, you know, mathematical equation that it follows, but that's another conversation for another day. But yeah, so that name Illuminati, that's like That's nowhere near what what they really are. You can leave that shit alone. Now we can, like I said, we can call them that just so we can understand who the fuck we're talking about. The Illuminati, the Round Table, the establishment, the globalists. All of that shit are just basically base names for something that we really don't have. We don't really know like what what the real name of it is at this time. We're not gonna know because hence the name secret society. Hence, presiding under a fucking secret society. Hence them niggas being a secret society. So, and the name doesn't really matter to be honest with you. But you got to understand it's not what they're called. Now, they, they have a lineage basically. The children that are here today, or the parents or whatever the fuck that are here today have a lineage of people that, the same motherfuckers that wrote the Bible, they gave you religion. That gives you your way of life, that gives you money. That gave you politics. They're all one and the same, basically. Now, it might be different groups. It might be different, to be honest with you, because it's always a wars of faction. It might be different groups that do different things, but you could basically place them under the same regime, in the sense. But they might be different groups, but they have the same agenda, or somewhat the same agenda. So you could just call them all the Illuminati, even though they're not all the Illuminati. They're not even all a part of the same group. Another conversation for another day. But so they give you that. They give you the world that we live in today. They give you the your social media sites and they give you. They might not be the ones that are running it like per se. It's like, okay, they own the business, but it's a part of their system, so they run it in a different sense. They give you video games and they give you the TVs and all that. They give you this way of life. So you have to understand that basically they're the same motherfuckers that runs everything without you knowing it, basically. And what you have to get is, the fact that, so this is what I was trying to get to because I just lost my train of thought playing this goofy shit. What you have to understand is the fact that, wars are started and all of that. And people say stuff like, well, what about the Bible, predicting the future and all the stuff in the Bible coming true? Because like I just said, like I just fucking told you, bruh. This shit is tweaking. What the fuck? It's like the world, the people that run the world today are the same people that wrote the Bible. So all they're doing is fulfilling the prophecy, nigga. Y'all gonna learn this shit. Y'all gonna learn this shit today. Y'all gonna learn. It's not, and this shit is not even that hard to understand. Simple shit. It's not even like over your head type shit. It's simple shit. They're the same motherfuckers, or they're the children of the lineage of the same motherfuckers that gave you the religion. So of course they have scholars that study the Bible. They might, they probably know the Bible themselves, and what they're doing is they're just they're fulfilling the destiny. That's what they're doing. That's basically what they feel like they're on this earth to do. They're playing God. They're playing God. Not in the sense that every man and woman is God, especially I guess you could say the black man and all that bullshit y'all niggas like to say that y'all niggas that think they know some shit. Bro, what the fuck is wrong, bro? Did you eat some shit that fucked you up? See, that's why you need to stop fucking picking shit off the motherfucking ground, nigga. But anyways, you know what I'm saying? Like, not in this, they think they're God. And no, I don't mean the black woman, the black man and black man, the black man and black man, black man and black woman, and they're God in the sense of your God particle, your third eye, and you're also the devil because of your lower chakras. And that comes from the shadow people, basically in the underworld, which we all have. You have to understand that too. You're good and evil. We're all good and evil. You're the devil and you're God. Seriously. On many different wavelengths. What's up, bro? Look at this little nigga. Look at this little nigga. Watching the little dog. Watching this little motherfucker. His name is Mr. I call him Anubis. Of course, I would say some cliche shit like that. But no, he look like Anubis to me. So that's why I just thought about calling this little nigga. But, I can take your ass down, bro. But, so they're just playing. They're just making all this shit real. Now, y'all got to excuse me sometimes because I got a lot of thoughts going on up in here. The spirit, I really think that way. But, niggas, it's cliche when niggas say it like how they say it. The spirit tells me what to say, which is my spirit in another realm, which is my spirit in the fourth dimension. I live on the third dimension. My body does. I really live on the fourth. So my real self is telling me what the fuck to say, as well as maybe some other spirits that are guiding me, because I do have protection in this universe. Most definitely. And I ain't got to do no rituals to get it. I have it already just because of who I am. Everybody got that shit. But another conversation for another fucking day. This, I'm not finna go into all of that shit. But yeah, so it tells me what to say. So if I scatterbrain a little bit, just bear with me. I'm gonna get back to the point eventually. I always do. It always brings you back to what I was talking about. So yeah, basically, it's not no religious thing like God said this shit and now God is making it true, or Mother Nature said it's gonna happen and now Mother Nature is getting you back for it. Well, in a sense that does happen, but what they're saying is like it's happening because of the fact that they're making it real. Don't you understand that? They have enough money to play with life, nigga. The fuck is you talking about? Y'all niggas be out here tweaking me out. Saying like, I don't want to be bogus to all religious people, but y'all be sometimes saying some stupid shit. What the fuck is that little spot on the screen? I don't know what the fuck that is. That's coming from the light. But y'all say dumb shit. You can't explain how the Bible is, the prophecy of the Bible is coming real. It's coming real because they're allowing it to be real. They're making it real for you. The fuck is you talking about? You can't see that? They're making that real for you, bruh. It's just that simple. It's not even like, you know what I'm saying? It's not even over your head type shit. It's not a rhetorical question. It can be answered. They're making the prophecies of the Middle East come true. They're making the fall of so-called Babylon, which you niggas think is America, come true. They're making that real. They've already written it. Now they're just acting it out. Just like a motherfucker saying, man, how the fuck is this movie so motherfucking... They had a movie and the script, they're just alike. Yeah, nigga, because the movie comes from the script. What the fuck is you saying? Stick to the script. You never heard of that saying? Like, and that's another thing, right? I'm going to, dive off into some other shit. Think about all the sayings that we say. Let me think of a couple of them. Yeah, stick to the script. Well, the universe is mental. I mean, that's not really one of them. What's another like little saying that we say that we really don't know the origins of it? It takes two to tango. All these shit have meanings, bro. Like all of that shit is derived from something. It just doesn't come out of air. Nothing just comes out of air. Even though technically you were just born one day and you don't really know how that happened. There's a alchemical process to that. In the womb of the woman, before you get in the womb of the woman, all of that shit. There's a process to you being born in your mother's stomach. All of that shit. Nothing comes from nothing. You have to understand that. You have to understand that. So, yeah, that's also another conversation I want to have one day. I know I'm kind of scatterbraining here, but yeah, all of that shit has meaning, but bringing it back to what I was talking about, the meaning of the Bible is basically the meaning of the future. They're following that book. They're using that book as basically a script to act out a movie. And we're all a part of it. We all have roles in this movie, whether you know you were part of a movie or not. And life itself, in another sense, is a movie itself. You make your own movie. But in a bigger, so-called a bigger movie, their movie, we're all actors in it. And we're all going to have to play our parts. And some characters are going to die, like movies. Some characters are going to last longer than others. We're all going to die. But in the script that I'm talking about here, some are going to die, how it happens in movies and earlier than others and whatever the fuck. They're playing God. That's what they're doing. They're playing God with money because life is a game. There's a games within game. Life is a game. Money is a game. Going to work is a game. Playing a game is a game. Just for you to, learning knowledge nowadays is a fucking game. It's a fucking game. Everything, life itself is a game. It's a big game. Really. And there's multiple games within that game. Some wild shit, but, not really. You know what I'm saying? This is going in a group where niggas is already conscious. So that's what the fuck that is. But yeah, they're playing the biggest, they're trying to play the biggest game, but they can't really do it, on a cosmic level. It's not, anything they're going to do is materialistic and earthbound. So yeah, they might put you in a prison, chop your hand off. But that really means nothing to you if you understand that you're not a nocturnal being. That's not a being of the night. You're a soul that's infinite. Like losing your life is like, not to say play with your life and just say fuck life. But in a sense, you do have to say kind of fuck life. A little bit. Because you're bigger than just this. This is not even real. You're bigger than this earth. And I think that sometimes humans, I've said it before, take earth a little bit too seriously. With the Black Lives Matter. I've never been for that movement. Because any organization that you get nowadays, even if it's for black people, it's already been infiltrated. It started to have a message, and it might not be a message that's saying Black Lives Matter. There's a lot of details on that Black Lives Matter shit that I'm just not gonna really get into right now. That shows you that it's not really, it ain't for black people. It's just not. Like, it's just not. So, you know, you can use this shit. You can get mad all you want. I don't really give a fuck about that shit. That means nothing to me. But I'm not with the Black Lives Matter thing. Even though Black lives do matter, but not the organization. Not to me, it doesn't. So, you know, like, that's what that is. So, yeah, they're just acting all this shit out, man. And you have to understand that, you know, they're playing with lives and they're playing with money. When you have enough money to kind of do what the fuck you want, you can set up a chessboard and put people in it and see how they work. Just like the study, what is it called? I don't know. But there's a study, I forgot when it was, when the government gave black people syphilis on purpose and didn't treat them just so they can study how the fuck they would die from it and how many people would get it. That's, you know, they play games with people. Like, this is what they do. I don't mean like in the sense of like a female, you know what I'm saying, not calling you back. I mean on like on a bigger level, not even a cosmic level, but just on a bigger, you know, worldly level, you know, national level, international level, my bad. They do it where it's like, yeah, we're going to play games with blacks in the hood to see how they act when we drop guns in their neighborhood. That's how they do that. You know, war is a big game. We call it war games. It's like it's a game. You know what I'm saying? And it's profitable. They go to war because they make money off that shit. The countries basically, they thrive after that. More so the winning country. Same thing with New Orleans. I was down in New Orleans when Hurricane Katrina happened. I wasn't actually there, but I was living in the Ninth Ward, Gentilly Woods. I was living on Feliciana Drive. And I went with my grandmother and my uncle and my auntie, and we lived in Tampa Bay for a while. But when we came back to the city, because I was living with my father at the time, and they went to Lafayette. When we came back to the city, they rebuilt everything, and of course they gentrified the areas. They reinvigorated the areas, basically. You know, they basically kicked people out the hood, made it a nice neighborhood. They're doing the same thing in Chicago right now. Same thing in Chicago. They're making parts of Inglewood and like out south for white people. They're kicking niggas out of there. That's what they're doing. That's what they always do. That's what they do. They're reinvigorating. Same thing they did to Hyde Park. They reinvigorated the area, made it a nice area, and they know niggas don't have enough money to live there, so who's going to move in? People that have the money, which is nowadays, you could say most Caucasians. Some niggas is getting it too. Don't make it seem like I'm saying niggas ain't getting it. But they did that for white people, because they know that they could pay those high-ass rents, and their salaries are up to date. They're up to task with that shit, so they can pay that. So yeah, you know, it's a big game, and they profit from it. They really only give a fuck about money. Fuck your religion, fuck your skin color, fuck, you know, who you're fucking. They don't give a fuck about that. They give a fuck about how much money can be, who can benefit. That's another very important thing. Whenever you see a so-called you think it's a false flag, or a big event, a mass shooting, just sit back and wonder to yourself, who's going to benefit from the motherfucking situation? Who's going to benefit the most? And who's going to, you know, basically decline the most when it comes to being anything beneficial? That's a very important question. Anytime you see a big event, remember that shit. Who's going to benefit from this? Who won't benefit from this? What is the reason for this happening at this time? Because nothing happens for no reason to these group of peoples. What was the point of that? You know, you have to ask yourself those questions. And they don't really give a fuck about white people either. You got to get over that. They don't give a fuck about white motherfuckers that's not on their level. If you're not on their level and you're not playing the game with them, you're not at the round table, they don't give a fuck about who you are. They now in the game, they might give the white person, which is the white person's class, like let's say it's a video game, right? And they have different classes. They might give the Caucasians, you know, a boost when it comes to this. They'll give them like a certain type of, like people say, white privilege. They have that to a certain extent, but they don't really give a fuck about them either. When it all hits the fan, they're gonna get killed too. If you don't cooperate, you're gonna get killed and put into wherever the fuck they're gonna put you at. That's predetermined. To depopulate the universe, that's already in the books, my nigga. The fuck you talking about? That shit's in the books. The Bible tells you that. It's in the books. That's coming. Not to scare motherfuckers, but that's definitely coming. Before like 2050. Oh, most deaf. Most deaf. We might not be here to see it. We probably will be here to see like the beginning of it. But our children's are gonna be children and children. I'm 26, so yeah, you know, I might be here to see. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know when this is gonna end for me, but our children and maybe children and definitely children, they're gonna be living in that shit. They're gonna have to deal with that shit, most definitely. Shit ain't even lit no more. But yeah, man. So they're just playing God. So that's the role that the government has on everything that you see, think, and smell, and hear, and do. That's the role. And of course, it goes deeper than that. Like, you know, they have technology to make you have uncontrollable itching and to want to kill people through certain currents of energy that goes into the air, that goes into your electronics, all that bullshit. That's why you really don't want to sleep next to your phone, next to your fucking head. But if your willpower is strong enough, they can't penetrate you anyways. It's like they can't penetrate up here anyways. They won't be able to do it. If your willpower is strong enough, won't really have an effect. I mean, it might if it you know, if the frequency's high enough. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on that, and it's just really wild, you know, what we're going into. Like, Donald Trump is not a part of the same organization that was running things before. I mean, he is now, but he's sworn basically loyalty. From what I've heard, I don't even know this shit's all the way factual, so you don't even gotta, like, you know what I'm saying, take this shit with face value. But his whole thing is a different organization. It's a different pact of the so-called Illuminati, or secret societies of the evil that want to do whatever the fuck you niggas like to say. He's not, you know, he's a part of it now because he's a president, but his allegiance is sworn to something else. So that's just what that is, man. You like what I'm saying? Subscribe to the channel. Like my video on Facebook, wherever the fuck you at watching this shit. Try to go to my YouTube page, Dr. Mercury on Facebook, Dr. Mercury on YouTube. The easiest way to kind of find my shit is just to type in Rude, R-U-D-E, D-O-A-T, which is dot. It's a rap. I'm also an artist myself. Death of a Templar. That's what D-O-A-T stands for. Death of a Templar. Death of a, yeah, I'm tweaking. You know, so go on YouTube, and then you'll see all my videos from there. You can just go to my channel. It's Dr. Mercury. So go on there and try to find me. Look my shit up. Check my other videos out. I would appreciate that. That would help my fucking black ass the fuck out. Like my video on Facebook. Share it. You know, and I guess, like, peace and happiness as much as you can get. Because this universe is not designed for happiness. Let me just say this very quickly. This universe, you have to understand, it's not good or bad. And that's another thing that like I wanted to get into. There is no such thing as good and bad, really. You know this because everything changes over time. Like, okay, so killing a random person, you'll go to jail for that, right? But if you kill for your country, you're a proud American. You're a good veteran at the point when you're done. So you see how the energy of things can change depending on which angle you want to look at it? Just like the earth being flat or round. From our perspective on the ground, it looks flat. But if you're getting it from like a global, supposedly it's round. Who's to say that it's neither one of those things? Who's to say that it's not both of those things? The earth is not round and flat. Who's to say? Have you ever flown out to space to actually see what the earth looks like? I didn't think you did, so shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? It makes me laugh how motherfuckers really sit back and they do this thing where it's like, I know the earth is round. Nigga, you don't know shit except for what the fuck they told you. Now the same motherfucker I was just bringing up a minute ago, they have a secret agenda that gives you all your information. So how the fuck would you know what's real and what's not? How the fuck would you know what's good and what isn't? How the fuck would you know what history is, my nigga? How would you know what real history is? Explain that to me. How could you know what the fuck real history is if it's been given to you by someone else that is not for your cause? Explain that to me. So technically, yes, they have us kind of where they want us because we don't really know. There's many different variations of certain situations in history that you can read. You can read various, you know what I'm saying, interpretations on it. It sounds different, but you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you know, okay, like this. In Egypt, oh man, you know, homosexuality wasn't permitted in Egypt. Yet, supposedly there are homosexuals they're fucking gay, like men fucking on the hieroglyphs. So there's two interpretations of the same thing. Now, I'm not here to tell you which one is true or not because we don't exactly know. Unless you could time travel. But you gotta understand, even if you go to sleep and you time travel, that can only be a manifestation of what your mind thinks you think history is. That can only be your mind creating that. So technically, some things we'll never really be able to fucking figure out. Maybe until we die. Now, I haven't died yet, so I don't know the ins and outs of that shit. All I can do is study on figuring out what it is. but you'll never know what it is exactly all the way. You know, you'll never know what it is unless you do the study on it all the way. And seeing is not always believing. Not always believing. But, you know, if you see it, you could basically categorize that as you believe the shit. Whatever the fuck. But you gotta understand it. You don't even know what the fuck history is. There's so many different variations of how stuff created and who was there and what happened with them and da-da-da. That's why you got the black conscious community. These motherfuckers is arguing over everything. I've been stopped watching them. I've already excelled past their knowledge, like, to be really honest with you, of like having to debate a black man to say I'm right or you're right. Technically, both of you niggas can be wrong and both of you niggas can be right in the same breath. So what the fuck are we talking about here? Nothing. Stuff that doesn't matter and can't get motherfuckers out the ghetto. So what the, you know what I'm saying? Can't get niggas out the hood, you feel me? So who the fuck give a fuck? Exactly. So shut that shit the fuck up. You know, shut that shit the fuck down. Shut that shit the fuck up. But yeah, man, it's just like, it's fucked up because we don't even know like where we're, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know where the fuck we're, you know, we're derived from. We don't even know who our ancestors really are unless you know who your ancestors really are personally. You know what I'm saying? You could do a test and people are saying, of course, you know, the ancestral tests are fake and they're off and they don't give you an accurate account of who the fuck was your ancestors and all that type of shit. Yeah. But you know, so that's what I'm saying. Like, knowledge can almost be, it gets misconstrued, it's misconceptualized. It can be, you know, it can be basically altered and you don't even really know what the fuck it really is. You know, not to say don't believe in nothing, but it's just really kind of fucked up at this point. I study stuff and I believe stuff that my spirit is like, yeah, that makes more sense for you. So I just go with that. I do research on it. If it makes sense and if it makes sense to what I'm seeing every day and what I feel, then I fuck with it. But I'm not gonna get too long into this video. I'm almost getting where my nigga Panic is at. It's like this nigga be doing 2-hour videos. I did 26 minutes. I'm getting there. But yeah, man, that's just what that is. That's just my thoughts on that fucking shit. And just understand this is my opinion. I'm not saying this shit like it's factionated. Actual facts. I think it's a word like that, but my dumb ass can't figure it out right now, so who gives a fuck? But I'm not saying like this is fact. It's just only my opinion. And a lot of the stuff I'm saying right now, it's gonna resonate with you if you already see it. You know, you can look it up or whatever the fuck you gotta do to like have a reassurance on whatever the fuck it is. So that's what it is. Go to my YouTube channel, Dr. Mercury. Like I said, look up Rude. That's my artist name, R-U-D-E. Death of a Templar. That's the easiest way to find my shit. My shit ain't popping, so get that shit cracking. And you know what I'm saying? That should be what's up, bro. If you got that shit cracking, whoever the fuck you are, bro or broette. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the end of my video. You know, I hope you guys like what I said today. Leave comments. I want to hear your comments. I want to hear what the fuck you guys got to say about shit. Most definitely, because I'm not in this conversation just to talk to my motherfucking self. So, yeah, I appreciate everything, you know, because y'all showing me some love on Facebook on my other videos. So hopefully y'all like this one too. So, I'm done, you know. Peace.